deep dive. The top 5 infamous startup blunders, what every entrepreneur needs to learn from these epic fails. Ever wondered what separates wildly successful startups from those that spectacularly crash and burn? Why some ideas take off, while others explode on the launch pad? You're about to find out. In this video, we pulling back the curtain on 5 infamous blunders made by startups you've definitely heard of. Not just small missteps, but multi-million-dollar mistakes that shattered dreams, destroyed reputations, and sent shockwaves through the business world. Forget the fairy tales. The real lessons, they're buried in failure. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur, an investor, or just obsessed with the startup world, what you're about to see could save your future company. Because success might be sexy, but failure is a brutal teacher. Let's dive in. Why even the brightest fall? Here's the truth. 90% of startups fail. Not due to lack of talent. Not even because the idea was bad. They fail because of executional blunders, many of which are preventable. Today, we're unpacking 5 of the most notorious, each one a case study in ambition gone sideways, and each one packed with lessons you couldn't afford to miss. Ignoring your customers or listening to the wrong ones. Case study, Quibi. The $1.75 billion flame out. Imagine raising nearly $2 billion, hiring Hollywood legends, and launching with explosive press coverage, only to collapse in just 6 months. That's the story of Quibi, the short-form video streaming platform that believed it could change the way we consume content on phones. Founded by industry titan Jeffrey Katzenberg and led by former HP CEO Meg Whitman, Quibi had every advantage, except a product anyone actually wanted. They banked on quick bites, 10-minute high-budget shows for commuters. The problem? By the time they launched, the world was in lockdown. Nobody was commuting. And worse, platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram already own the short-form space for free. They spent hundreds of millions producing exclusive content, but no one watched. And unlike YouTube or TikTok, Quibi didn't let users comment, share, or even screenshot. They built a wall, not a community. Within months, it was over. Takeaway: validate your market. Don't force your vision onto customers. Understand their behavior and solve their problem. And never assume size or funding replaces product-market fit. Blunder number 2. Premature scaling and burning through cash case study. WeWork hype, hubris, and the $47 billion meltdown next. A masterclass in how not to scale. WeWork started as a simple co-working idea and turned into a tech unicorn valued at $47 billion. At its peak, it was the poster child for startup success. But behind the glossy ads and free kombucha, there was rot. Founder Adam Neumann expanded aggressively, leasing premium real estate in dozens of cities before proving profitability. With massive VC backing from SoftBank, he spent lavishly, opened schools, invested in unrelated ventures like wave pools and private jets, and branded it all as elevating the world's consciousness. The company lost over $2 billion in 2018 alone and still kept growing. When WeWork filed for IPO in 2019, the truth unraveled. The S-1 filing revealed staggering losses, questionable governance, and a business model that couldn't scale. The IPO was pulled. Newman was ousted. Billions vanished. Takeaway: growth is not success. Premature scaling can be fatal, especially if your unit economics don't make sense. Grow only when your foundation is solid. Blunder number 3. Mismanaging talent and culture case study. Theranos. Where? Teep killed ethics. Some startups fail because of market conditions. Others because of toxic leadership. Theranos was once hailed as a revolution in medical testing. A finger prick of blood, hundreds of diagnostics. Fast, cheap, and painless. Led by Elizabeth Holmes, a young, charismatic Stanford dropout, the company raised over $700 million, partnered with Walgreens, and was valued at nearly $9 billion. But behind closed doors, it was all smoke. The technology didn't work. Employees were silenced. Whistleblowers were threatened. A culture of secrecy and fear replaced scientific rigor. Theranos didn't fail because the idea was bad. It failed because the people inside were too afraid to speak the truth, and leadership demanded loyalty over honesty. In the end, Holmes and her crew were indicted for fraud. The once celebrated icon became a cautionary tale. Takeaway: culture is your true foundation. No innovation can survive a toxic work environment. As a founder, your values echo through every floor. Build wisely. Blunder number 4. Failing to adapt in a dynamic market case study. Blockbuster, the giant that refused to evolve. Blockbuster was a household name. Over 9,000 stores, billions in annual revenue, and a near monopoly on home entertainment. Then along came Netflix, mailing DVDs, then streaming them. When Netflix offered to sell their business to Blockbuster for just $50 million, Blockbuster laughed, literally. But while they were busy laughing, Netflix was busy innovating, moving into online rentals, streaming, personalized algorithms, and binge-worthy content. Blockbuster, meanwhile, kept pushing late fees and clinging to physical stores. By the time they launched their own streaming platform, it was too late. Takeaway: complacency is a killer. Even giants can fall if they stop evolving. Always ask, what will disrupt me? And how can I get there first? Blunder number 5. No real problem-solved case study. Juicero, solving a problem no one had. Lastly, Juicero, a $400 internet-connected juicer. Case. Really? Case. Juicero promised fresh juice from special packs delivered to your door. The machine connected to Wi-Fi scanned QR codes on juice packs and squeezed them into your glass. What killed them? One simple video, showing that you could squeeze the packs by hand faster than the $400 machine. Consumers were outraged. Investors were humiliated. Within months, Juicero shut down, burning through $118 million. Takeaway: just because you can build something doesn't mean you should. solve real problems. And always ask, would people care if my product disappeared tomorrow? Startups don't die from a single mistake. They die from blind spots, from ignoring reality, overreaching, or forgetting that at the center of every business is a human. Today, you saw 5 colossal failures, but in those failures are lessons about humility, discipline, vision, and leadership. If you're building something of your own, let these be your roadmap and your warning. Because in the startup world, success isn't promised, but failure that's always lurking for those who stop paying attention.